is the place where real dialogue matters.
Make some noise for that sound, man.
It is time to take flight with Audio Airstrike.
This is Audio Airstrike. I'm your host, Everett Hall-McNeill. Thank you for joining us. This is episode 129. Thank you for always tuning in. For those of you who are watching this on YouTube, please subscribe. For those of you who are listening to this on SoundCloud and iTunes, we definitely appreciate that as well. Now, I have a very good guest at this time. He is a up-and-coming comedian. He is also a podcaster on Nerds with Words and also is a podcaster on Slapstick Sports. Ladies and gentlemen, comedian and funny extraordinaire, Adam Nutter is with us. What's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, Everett? Thank you, buddy. By the way, I want to tell you this, but I wanted to say it for the podcast. You have a great serial killer name. Like Everett.
A great serial killer
McNeill.
name?
That's a great serial killer name. That's like that goes down in history. It's like you assassinated somebody famous, Everett Hall-McNeill. Right?
Let me help you with something. The last thing I don't know if I should appreciate the compliment or be butthurt to be offended. And it would probably go a long way in this era. But that is the craziest thing anybody has ever said about my name.
Yeah. Because it's that
scary.
perfect it's like that three name, like Lee Harvey Oswald, right? The guy who killed MLK, he had John Wilkes Booth, Lincoln, right? Like they all had like the three name type of sway to it. Everett Hall McNeill, boom. Not saying you, just your name.
I'll give you a little one of those little okay. Then I'll probably talk behind your back. I say this band is nuts. Compare me to some serial killer.
Not you. Just the name.
Oh, okay.
Just the name. The name is great. Not you. Not the embodiment of you.
Oh, okay.
Just your name.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
Right, like Adam Nutter is a ridiculous name, right? That could be like if you were like if we just met, if you did, you'd be like, man, I wanted to wait to tell you this, but Nutter is like the name of a clown. I'd be like, no, it is for sure, right? Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like that's like Nutter the clown, like for sure. Your name. Serial killer.
Right, because of the three syllables and stuff like that. Yeah,
exactly.
I get that.
It has nothing to do with you.
Oh, okay, got you. Because the last thing I'm trying to be company with. Yeah, I ain't trying to be company with that.
No, you gotta take yourself out of it.
Oh, okay, got you.
You gotta project out. Just look in.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that we got to look into, though, is Mother's Day is coming up. Mother's Day. And let's talk about it. So, do's and don'ts. For those of you who are trying to get your mother something nice and at least I know it's kind of a little difficult in this time that we're in. Everybody's on quarantine. It's very important that you get your mother something. Like, don't do what I try to do at 16 and don't try to get her some KFC cheap meal like I try to do. I'll tell the story about that after this little set. but it's really like some flowers, some carry out curbside type of high quality food at some fancy restaurant somewhere. Take it back home, sit with your mother and eat like something, flowers, something. I made the mistake. I'll never forget it. I was 16 years old. I'll go right into it. And Adam, please feel free to share like a funny time you messed up on Mother's Day.
Okay.
Man, so I'm 16. I'm losing track of days. It's May. It's like early May. So I'm losing track of days for whatever reason. I'm ripping and running between school and all that. School's about to wrap up and this and that. Man, Mother's Day got here. I forgot to get the gift, the card. So I'm in the car with her. I'm realizing, oh, shoot, it's Mother's Day. The look on my face. My mom may say nothing the whole time, just driving like this.
She's gripping the wheel so hard her veins are like clearly coming through her arm. Right. It's like you see it in her forearm.
Right, and my mom got a heavy hand too, so one slap of her is like getting knocked out by Mike Tyson. So it's like, so I'm sitting there and we start talking and I'm like, all right, Mom, I'm sorry, but I forgot that it was Mother's Day. Oh man, that was enough. Next thing you know, she going off. She's like, oh, you just gonna forget Mother's Day after all I've done for you? I sat back over here and it made a bunch of sacrifices for you. Let me get this straight. You couldn't give me a card or nothing. Couldn't give me a gift card or nothing.
You couldn't even wrote one yourself.
You were
right
got
a little crayon and cardboard and been like, Mom, you're the best. Love you.
And the sad thing is I've done that before in Mother's Day past when I was younger. So she goes, oh my goodness. And I'm just sitting there like, all right, when should I say something? When is this the right time to say something? So she goes on this rant. She was like, oh my goodness, the store is right around the corner from the house. You could have got something.
You could physically walk there.
Right. I could physically walk there.
Yeah, your non-driver's license carrying ass could have walked out to the store.
Right. You could have literally walked half a block, could have got what you needed to get to, and this be over. Man, I don't know what propelled me to say this. I was like, Mom, we could stop, go to KFC. I can get you like a snack or meal or something. She turned around. You know how black mothers are. I don't want no damn KFC snacker. What the hell are you talking about? I was done. I was like, all right, I ain't saying nothing else.
This is how much I don't know about black mothers and how fat I am, I think. Because you were like, because I was like, no, it sounds like a deal. I was like, yeah, no, fair deal. I would have just fist bumped you, like, let's go. And just like turned it around.
Right. Black mothers ain't trying to hear that. She looked at me like, I know this MFA really just say.
See, now
that you gonna take me out to a meal.
What happens if you and your mom had a cantankerous relationship, like maybe me and my mom have growing up my whole life up until this very day?
Hey.
When, let's say, maybe I was like, it's Mother's Day, but you know.
You ain't really nice like that. So here, you're gonna take the constellation prize.
Yeah. It's like my dad's like, "You gonna get your mom something?" I'm like, "Oh, if you go with me." No, me and my mom. My mom worked from home growing up to raise me. I'm the only child.
Okay.
So my dad, worked, and me and my dad to this day are like this. Like, we're fucking tight. We're boys. And me and my mom to this day are still not, close. Like we talk, but we're not like, it's not there. So like just growing up, I feel like we were just constantly just butting heads because there's two of us in the house all the time. And like looking back at it now, especially like for sure, my parents didn't do the greatest job raising me. Like they did the best, I guess. But like if you're like I always tell them this. I go, hey, just because I didn't get molested or beat doesn't mean you guys knocked it out of the park. Like parenting. I was like, just because the two worst things didn't happen to me doesn't mean like you guys are like, all right, we crushed it, right? No, it's like you guys still fucked up plenty. You just didn't let me go into the rabbit hole of molestation. So thank you for that.
Right.
But it's everything else, it's like, so I don't know. So that's why I always get weird when people talk about like my mom, like their mom and dads, and like, oh, you have to respect them and honor them. It's like, I don't know, do you? Because like my dad earned my respect my whole life, like I'm not, like I respect my mom. It's just like, and I love my mom. It's just there's a lot of problems.
It's a little different. Yeah. It's like people are quick to give the gold award. You sitting over here giving the bronze. Like, all right, you lucky to get this bronze. You lucky to get this bronze, right?
But there were two times in my adult life where I almost came to like I was like, I have to fight you to my dad. Like I was like, no, I have to hit you. Like I have to fight, because like sometimes like as a man, like it doesn't matter who it is. Like when things get said, sometimes there's that line where it's like, nah, that's it. I don't care. We're just two men now talking. And it's like
it's on site now.
Yeah,
it's on site now.
We never threw down, but like it came close, and that was the only two real blow-ups we ever had in my entire 33-year life. So that's pretty good, But my mom, we've had multiple blow-ups where it's like, fuck you, you piece of shit, So it's like I always like. So Mother's Day is always a weird time for me. All those, it's weird for me. Not to make this serious.
Yeah, it's understandable, man. Not everybody, and that's the thing. We got to give a shout out to the people that they may not be as close with their mother, but somebody stepped in and was like a motherly figure to them. So we definitely got to give that shout out. Somebody who is not going to get the Mother of the Year award by any stretch of imagination. There's a viral video that went around of a girl putting her baby on a strip pole.
Yeah.
Let me say this for the record. If I caught my future wife or future girlfriend doing this to my child, we get you the heck up out the house quickly. Sit down, talk something. Cause I saw the video, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, seriously? Like, it'd be one thing if the video was like, oh, you're letting your baby jump in a puddle repeatedly. That's different. That's kid stuff. That's what they do. Let them do that. She got this baby up on the pole, dog. And look, I know what people... Right.
Yeah, that's an important, because people might think you're just talking about like, oh, the baby's playing on a pole, which by itself, by the way, not a big deal.
Right.
But in the context of this video, she's like the mom's like not stripping, but like strip dance teasing on the pole, and the baby's like sitting on her ass, like while the mom's upside down, and she's like holding the pole. So she's like involved in the like erotic dance or whatever, I guess you could say.
Yeah, trying to make her, she almost looks like a prop, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
She's almost looked like a prop up there, but it's one of the situations when I'm sitting over looking at this, I'm like, yo, let me get this straight. Like, I'm look, 10 years from now, that girl probably going to have that. I hope this doesn't happen, but that girl might have an OnlyFans page when she get older. If they keep letting her have this going on. Right, man. I mean, goodness.
You know what it is, man? So, like, this is important. All right, we'll get into about me a little bit. Like, I'm a libertarian. So, like, if people don't know what that is, that's the political spectrum that we all should be doing, but we don't. Everybody just votes Democrat or Republican. Libertarian.
Everybody gets swept up tribal.
Yeah. Essentially, libertarianism is like, listen, you do you, I do me, fuck the government, fuck taxes. You know, as long as you're not being violent or stealing my property or hurting animals or anything like that, we're cool. You know, you do you. So like when it comes, so when always like the topics are like, what do you think about people transitioning? And I go, I don't care. As long as they're not telling me what to do, telling me what to think, you know, or now this is where I care. When you start to when you start to like sexualize children.
Yeah.
No. I will step in. Like I will personally step in. That's my biggest no. Like anytime when I see that shit with kids, like, you know, like there was that video a few months back where like that there was like that drag show, and that drag queen was like sexy dancing to like the little kid in the middle of the room with all the adults cheering her on. And like I had people disagree with me on that. They're like, it's fine. You're like you're overblowing. And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm like, you're trying to normalize the sexualization of a child. Like that's fucking crazy to me.
Right. Yeah,
it's like the worst thing you could do.
That sounds nuts.
So I'm against all that shit. When it comes to kids, like, listen, when you hit that 18, go fucking crazy. Fucking cut your dick off. Add dicks. I don't care. You want to put dicks in your fucking cheeks and be like, oh, I'm dick cheeks. Go be dick cheeks. But wait till you're 18, you know? Like, you got to wait till you're 18. Like, these parents, like, putting their 10-year-olds in, like, hormone blockers because, like, oh, they want to transition. Be in jail forever. What are you talking about?
Right.
You're ruining a child's life. And by the way, I don't care if anybody at Adam Nutter on Twitter, hit me up. Like, I don't care. I'll fight you all day. Like, you know, I don't care. I don't care. You can't fire me. You can't cancel me. I'm a comedian. Fuck you. Like, I don't care. I will speak my mind. No, absolutely not. Sorry. You know?
We welcome it on this show. You can definitely speak your mind. We don't care.
You know, so anybody listening out there is like, yep. Fuck, you're fucking a psychopath if you agree with that. Like, sorry, you fucking beat to death.
I definitely agree. You should be 18 to make a vast decision like that. You should be at least 18 years old. And by the way,
and now we even know that our frontal cortex doesn't even start developing until we're 25 years old. So even 18 is too young. But whatever, it's the legal age, so fine. But like, you know what I'm saying? But like, it should be 25.
Yeah. It definitely should, man. It's one of them situations where I don't understand why we force these young kids to grow up so fast and get into certain things. Right. Now I get it. They are more intelligent. They pick up on things quicker than we did. However, that doesn't mean you sit over there and turn them into something that they're not mentally prepared for.
Right. Because listen, and you're right. I don't give a shit. If you're 15, you can physically see it on the internet. It doesn't mean that you know what's going on still, even though you're watching it. And it also doesn't mean that you can still handle it. So just because you know what it is doesn't mean shit.
Right.
Like, I know what quantum physics are. Ask me about them.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I don't fucking know. Time? I don't you know,
right.
That's the same thing. So if a kid's watching, like, some crazy outlandish shit, and then you go, hey, what does that mean? He goes, I don't know, but I think it fucked me up. It's like, yeah, I know, it fucked you up, right? It's like, that's all we know, you know?
Yeah, it's a situation where I'm sitting over there looking at this and I'm saying somebody who thinks that is cute yo, I'm putting you away and we throwing away the key. Like, you getting locked up for that. Because now what's not going to be cute as she gets older, then she got an OnlyFans page, then she ends up on somebody's porn site. You know what I'm saying? Then people don't want to laugh. Well, and of course, there's going to be people out there that got a problem. Well, you conservative bastard. How dare you pop off and say.
No, it's not, because here's the thing, dude. When I was younger, I was really big into like the porn movement, into the idea of like it's empowering women. As I get older, and again, as I really fell into like libertarianism and stuff like that, listen, you have to separate morality from politics.
Right.
All right. So like, morally, I stopped watching porn. Like, personally, I stopped watching because like I felt like it was fucking me up. Like my whole life, I guarantee watching porn from a young age and doing like all the one night stands I did when I was like in my 20s, like that. I'm telling you, that fucked me up. Like, now I'm married, I'm 33, I'm older, but like I still have problems from like my 20s, like easily. And a lot of it was from just the overconsumption of porn, the overconsumption of like just, dude, like I'm from Staten Island, New York. I don't live there anymore, but I'm from Staten Island, New York. And like Tinder was still around. And like Tinder on Staten Island was like throwing dynamite into a fucking, not even a lake. It was like throwing dynamite into a fucking fishbowl. It's easy to like hook up with chicks. So it was like it was like all, and it fucked with me. And now I regret it. Honestly, I really do. So like looking back at it all, I go, fuck, man, I don't think that's good for anybody. I don't. But if you want to do it, it shouldn't be illegal. Like, if you want to do it, again, do you. That's your right. That's your right as a person on this planet. You do you. I just don't think you should. Like, you know.
And I think there's nothing wrong with people stepping in the gap, being like, okay, here's some stuff that you need to think about. Here's the consequences of your actions. Here's the pros and cons to everything that you make a choice on. At that point, like, here's a pro. The pro is she went viral. We probably will figure out what her name is down the line. Right. The con is that you are now known as the mother that put their baby on the strip pole. We are going to not take your parenting skills seriously. That's a con that comes with that. Some people are going to think that way. I'm not saying I'm not forcing my belief on what everybody should think, but there are going to be some people to be like, man, what is she doing? We ain't taking no parenting advice from her. If she showed up, if I was trying to get married and I looked across the desk and she was my marriage counselor, I'd be like, say what? Weren't you in that video?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, it's like taking security advice from like the 9/11 crew. It's like, you know, did you guys let 9/11 happen? Fuck out of here.
Yeah. We ain't listening to y'all.
It's I don't know, man. So I think all that shit with like kids are pure. Like they really are. Like, kids are, you know, I mean, if they don't have anything wrong with them, you know, but if you have a normal brain child from birth, you know, kids are pure. Every hate they learn is environmental. Like, we aren't born with hatred. It's taught. So like, I don't know. So like, when I see that shit, when I see like the corruption of like children, it just bums me out. It's like, fuck, man. It's like you have this pure little being, and it's like your shitty adultness is fucking, you know, poisoning this fucking pure mind. With
the quickness, it's right there. Yeah. I definitely agree with that. Something that definitely caught my attention though, in terms of something that isn't as pure, and we're going to see that displayed on the big screen. Nicolas Cage lands the role of Joe Exotic.
Yeah,
Nicolas Cage is set to star in a scripted series centered around Joe Exotic, the subject of the Netflix docuseries Tiger King.
Now, let me ask you this: is it actually about Joe? It's not like a character based on Joe Exotic. It's like the story of Joe Exotic.
I think so.
And is it going to be on Netflix? Is Netflix doing it?
I don't know if Netflix is doing it mainly. I think he signed up to do the role. I think it's for like a docuseries for American Vandal. Let me look deeper into this. Yes. So he will be playing Tiger King's Joey Exotic in a scripted series from American Vandal, which is a separate show.
Right. I know
it's going to be, and then the showrunner is going to be spearheading that. So
it's essentially like just a biopic. I bet you this would be a comedic biopic of Joe Exotic.
Right. I think CBS is going to be behind it. I'm looking at the article right now. CBS is behind it. So CBS will have.
If it's not on Netflix, like it's gonna suck. It has to be on like a platform like that.
But you want to know what? From a numbers standpoint, here's why I think it might do the opposite. People are going to tune in just to see if Nicolas Cage can pull off Joey Exotic.
Sure, I think he can. By the way,
just because of how quirky he is.
By the way, I was gonna say him, Michael Keaton would have been a good Joe Exotic. I think.
Yeah.
And then I had something else and I forgot. I have too much brain trauma. I can't remember everything. But I do have so much. I played football and did mixed martial arts for a long time. I played football from like 12 to 25, like full contact, like with grown men, like an idiot. I was playing with guys who got like cut from like professional teams. Oh, so you was getting Ray Lewis hits all day. I was playing like semi-pro in Jersey for a little bit after high school and stuff, and yes, we played with some guys who like went to were like on the practice squad of like the Bears and got cut. And I was like, cool. Wow. What are you doing here? But so I did that I played from like 12 to 24, 25, like full contact, and then I did mixed martial arts I fought for 1 year, but I trained for like 8. So I have a bunch of head trauma from that, and then I got into a few car accidents. I got head trauma from that, so I'm all fucked up in the head. So I got a bunch of head trauma, like memory problems. Back to Joe Exotic. So I can't remember the other guy I was going to say.
Speaking of mental problems and trauma, Joe Exotic.
Yeah. But I'm assuming you watched the documentary, right?
Did I? Oh my goodness,
man! Was it? It was such a roller coaster.
I was having flashbacks of people I've met in my area. I'm like, oh, yeah, you act like this. You act like this. You give this Carl Baskins vibe like this. Yeah, some people in my area look like that.
No, what's funny about that? I remember seeing a thing about him like 5 years ago. And then when I saw the documentary, I was like, oh, that's the fucking guy I saw 5 years ago randomly. I remember seeing like a small bit about him somewhere. And I was like, I wonder where he went. Here he is. I was like, oh, he's in jail? Hilarious. I was like, of course he is.
You can't write that. Yeah.
That's the biggest irony of all. I mean, it really is. He wanted to be famous and he can't. So funny. I mean, he is, but he can't reap the benefits of it, you know?
Right. Yeah. But if he get out, oh my gosh. How many years he got?
22.
Oh, yeah. By the time he get out, he'd be 70-some years old.
He'd be dead. He's going to die in prison.
Right.
Do you think he deserves 22 years? Do you think he was guilty?
Here's the thing. People don't want to say it. I'll say it. I think it wouldn't surprise me, as much as he hated Carol Baskins, that he put a plan together to get her killed. And I'm also convinced that Carol Baskins killed her first husband.
Agree on both. Totally agree.
They're both that crazy and both that delusional that they would do some crazy stuff like that.
Yo, I heard
that's just me.
I agree with you. I heard or somebody, it might not be the DOJ, but maybe Florida's DOJ is going to look back into that case.
To do what? If he gets back out, I'm telling you right now.
No, I'm sorry. Look into the Carol Baskin missing husband thing.
Oh, now, yeah, they need to look into that. Look into that.
I heard they're doing that.
She need to go to jail too. She need to get a longer sentence than Joe Exotic, truth be told.
No, she straight up murdered. Dude, if she didn't murder him with tigers, she fed him to tigers. There's no way she didn't, right? So, like, right. You're never going to find that body.
Never.
That's gone. It's dissolved. They could dissolve bone, I think.
Right. I mean, the way I look at it is this, right? Because there's been rumors that that her first husband set up a plan for himself to get away. I'm not buying that. I think myself personally, and you can look, I think she played a primary part in the disappearance and killing of her husband. Without question. You don't look that crazy. People usually, when you look at murders like that and you see the person as accused, you can tell when they haven't done it. Because It's like, yeah. When she said, this is what really threw me through a loop. When I guess a tiger attacked Joe Exotic and she said, well, you need a certain oil to do that. How the hell do you know what type of liquid material to attract tigers to eat.
Right, because she was like, what do you say? Perfume? They hate perfume. What they like is this. It's like, what? Just shut up after they hate perfume, you idiot.
Right.
Just shut up after that. Be like, no, they wouldn't do that. They hate perfume. See how I just did it?
Right.
Very believable. Right. I didn't add on anything else.
Right. It's retard. It's freaking ridiculous. And then I'm sitting over here looking at her, and then she's giving these looks. You know what I'm talking about. That I'm privileged. I can get away with crap look. That universal look. But it's way creepier times 10.
She has crazy chick eyes.
Yeah, I can't stand that.
She's like, I don't know where he went. It's like that. Like they're dead but not dead.
Right.
You're like, oh, that's evil crazy. What that is, that's chaotic crazy. That's what that is. If you have dead eyes, but they're also like staring through you, but they're dead, you're a crazy person. You got bodies under you.
Yeah, you definitely caught a few bodies. You acting like that. I can't stand somebody acting like that. But this is going to be very interesting with Nicolas Cage playing this. This is going to be very interesting. I'm looking forward to it.
I think he's going to crush it.
He might crush it.
I guarantee he will. Yeah,
it's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be interesting to look at. I mean, I'll watch it. I don't know. I think I don't know when they're going to get the ball rolling with us being in quarantine and all that type of stuff, but it should be interesting to see where it goes. Now, what's not interesting and what's could potentially be worse than a tiger bite, who knows? I don't even like the name of these things. Asian murder hornets.
Yo, fuck those things, dude. I've known about these for fucking like 10 years. Not kidding.
Wow.
So a little bit about Adam. I have the only fear, like real fear I have, are like bees and shit. Where I'll freak out. I will push children down. I will George Costanza situation. I will fucking be like, move. I will get out of it. I don't give a fuck. Everything else, I'm very chivalrous. Bees, you are last on my list. Me first. Everyone else down. I don't know. I've never been stung, which is weird. I just have a real fear of like a thing this big that could fly, which is an advantage. It's small, advantage, and it could kill you, advantage, right? So like all those things freak me out. So like I will panic. One time, this is a bit of my act. I haven't told this joke in a while, but this is a true story. It was summertime. My wife, she's 5 foot, about 120 pounds, blonde chick, like the typical white blonde chick, like right. Not a strong fucking athlete.
She's not a Karen, is she?
No.
Okay.
No, she's hot. She's hot.
Had to ask.
Long blonde hair.
Okay, gotcha.
No. She opened the door and a wasp flew in the house. And it was one of these fuckers that it was so big you saw its legs from across the room.
Oh, wow.
One of those where you're like, I shouldn't see your legs from 12 feet away. Right. You're a bug. Like your legs are too big. So it flew in and I literally stopped still. And like, I know this is like a half video also podcast. So for the video people watching, I my eyes got big and I started like shaking. I was like, I froze and my wife was like, oh my God, kill it. And I was like, a tear came down my eye. I was so scared. I fought men in a cage for fun. And I couldn't kill this wasp. I'm crazy myself. So like, she killed it, and I was like, oh, like I felt like, dude, I was so scared. So if I see these things, I will cry. Like I will cry and run. Like I hope we have to figure this out. Stop them at all costs.
We are putting. I mean, it's going to be a long sleeve summer for me. I ain't putting no short sleeve on.
So this is why I'm fascinated with these things. So I'm so scared of bees. I know all things about bees and shit because I watch all documentaries about them because I have to know, right? So these things, 30 of them wiped out. They have it on video. You can watch this. It's crazy. They wiped out a colony of 10,000 bees. 30 of them. So here's the thing. Their shells are impenetrable to bee stings. So these bees are just trying attacking them, and they're biting them in half because they can't get hurt. So interesting fact. Guess what the honeybees in Asia figured out how to do? They figured out how to kill them, and here's how they kill them. They swarm them, and they vibrate. And they vibrate at a temperature that cooks them from the inside out, that the bees could survive, the hornets can't. Pretty fascinating.
Oh, that's crazy.
Here's the problem. European honeybees, which is the American honeybee, right? It's the European strand. They don't know how to do that. So they don't have a defense against these things.
So they're just going to get picked off.
They're going to get fucking wiped out.
I'm getting the shiver just thinking about them, man. I can't
Where'd you
stand
live?
them. I live Maryland, D.C. area.
All right, so we're fine right now. They're in Washington State.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, cool.
For now.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for now. Yeah, for now. I just, if you're in Washington, you better keep that contained. Don't bring that nowhere near the East Coast. Keep that contained. I don't want to hear nothing about it.
Guys.
Right.
Burn the state down. I couldn't give a fuck. Burn it down. Space Needle gives a shit. The Mariners, who cares? They suck. Move the fuck on. Burn that plug and place down.
Yeah, but if you tell them, hey, you burn the Seahawks down, they're gonna protest about that.
Fuck them too. Fuck the Seahawks. I forgot about it. Fuck the Seahawks too.
Oh,
bring
man,
back the Supersonics, you cowards.
Oh yeah, I mean they ain't gonna do that. That's
dude, why not though?
They ain't gonna do that.
But they can. They support the Seattle Sounders, which is like the biggest MLS team in like the country. They have that, the Mariners and the Seahawks. Bring the Sonics back.
They could maybe as a good throwback, but it's like, okay, how are you going to build? Them doing that may be easier. Like, for example, if they tried to build a team near Maryland, like somewhere in Baltimore, we got the Washington Wizards, but still, like if they tried to do that, that would be a hard task.
The Trailblazers.
True. But is the support going to be the same though?
I guarantee it will be bigger.
What makes you think it'd be bigger? I'm just curious.
I don't know. I have nothing to back this up. Bro science? I don't know. All right, let me justify my answer. I'll back up my answer. Because if you look at the soccer team, if they put their fandom and the support behind a soccer team, and no one gives a fuck about soccer in this country, let's be honest.
Right. Nobody does.
They have a winning football team. They have a decent baseball team. They've had, especially in the past, they had playoff Mariners before. So they have the support there. I guarantee they were also pissed when the Sonics left. So I guarantee if they're like, we're bringing the Supersonics back, I guarantee they saw season tickets fucking day one. Guarantee. Because of the support the other teams have, there's no reason they wouldn't support a basketball team.
Okay. Kind of like
because of the support of the other teams. Because they all sell out, so why not basketball? They were pissed when they left the Sonics. They were pissed.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
so
okay.
Why not?
All right. Yeah, because I mean, there is a fan base. It's kind of like when the Rams left St. Louis, fans were pissed. Right.
And by the way, there's no fans in LA. They can't sell out. They're playing away games every home game. Right.
So it was pointless for that move.
No, not for money.
Well, yeah, they're gonna make money on the. They're gonna make money from with the new arena and stuff like that. They're gonna make money that way. But
yeah,
like I'd rather if I got huge support in St. Louis, just keep it in St. Louis. But I guess when it comes to,
so here's the thing. So like the way the owners look at it, right, for like the Rams is they're like, yeah, we'll legitimately just make money being in LA and being the LA. They don't have to win to make money. Like the Giants don't have to. I'm a Giants fan. Trust me, they don't have to win to make money because it's a fucking New York Giants. A better example is the Jets. They're a horrible franchise historically, and they've always been because they play in New Jersey, but New York, the New York Jets.
All right.
If you have the New York or LA moniker tag to your sports team, you're fucking fine. Like you'll just live off the fact that you're New York or LA. So like they know that. So they're like, we have a bigger market, bigger advertising for sure, and also then you booze and shoots the LA scene. There's more money there, Way more than St. Louis. Who the fuck's going to St. Louis? I've never been to St. Louis. Sorry, St. Louis. But no one's like, oh, I can't wait to go see the Arch and fucking St. Louis steaks, whatever the fuck they call them over there. I don't know. Who gives a shit? You know? It's like who cares? Like, who gives a fuck about Missouri?
Oh, man.
You know?
He ain't making no friends on this show. He's like, yeah, forget you. Screw this.
Hey, I'm from Staten Island, New York, which is New York City.
I can tell.
And that doesn't even get respect in the city itself, so I don't want to hear it for anywhere else. when I go into Manhattan to do like comedy and stuff like that, I'll talk to like other comics and be like, "Where you from?" I'm like, Staten Island. Like, it's not even New York. It's like, fuck you, man. Yeah, it is. You know, it's like I get shit up. So
yeah, I mean, hey, it is what it is, man. Since we're talking about sports, man, we might as well go in. I'm gonna switch it up. We might as well go in and talk about The Last Dance. We might as well go in and talk about that with Michael Jordan and the 90s Bulls and everything that based on the last 6 episodes. So first off, we know that Jerry Krause is the definition of somebody with a Napoleon complex. That is what we know.
He really is a 4 foot nothing. Like, he really is. Like, it's a bummer. They always bum me out too. Like, cause like again, I'm a former athlete. I get really only with football and MMA. Like, I fucked around with softball. I'm terrible at basketball, but still, like, when I watch like the fights now with people who've never fought. And they'll be like, why does he just punch him and like throw more jabs? Like, shut the fuck up. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. We're like, it's so easy just to throw more jabs. So when I see guys like that running a basketball team, it's like, it's disrespectful to the players and everybody else who like played basketball in a way. It's, you know, it's like, what do you know? Especially
when you say, well, the organization won the championship. What?
Right.
You got Jordan Pippen, Rodman, Horace Grant, Steve Kerr that would come in.
Tony Kukoc,
so many, right?
B.J. Armstrong. I mean, Phil Jackson is your head coach, one of the best coaches of all time.
Right,
fuck out of here.
Like, what was he thinking even saying that? That's the thing that threw me through a loop. Like, you can't say that and then sit over there and then recant the statement. Well, I didn't mean. Well, just shut up. If you are a part of. Potentially, yes, you help put it together. But there comes to a point where you got to leave that alone and be like, okay, I'm letting them say what they got to say in the interviews. I'm not trying to be. He has such a Napoleon complex and gets in his own way based on what I've seen through this documentary that it caused inverted tension with the team. Mm-hmm. He made he made them get it. He made them get it Kukoc in the Olympic game. Because he was favoring them a lot. Like, favoring him a lot,
which, by the way, I felt so bad for Kukoc. He got fucked hard for 2 games because they were like, sorry, man, nothing personal, but we have to make a point back home.
Yeah. Mike was like, oh, hell no, we're going to put this kid through the ringer.
And it's crazy because, like, he's legitimately a good player.
Right.
And, like, but you're throwing him to the fucking wolves.
Right. All because you're looking at all because you're looking at him more than you're looking within your organization. He did that plenty of times over. But the one thing that I will say about I'm going to go into Phil Jackson. I didn't even know Phil Jackson played for the Knicks until this documentary.
Yeah.
Which explains why he became the coach for a short period of time. One of the things that I appreciate about Phil was always a student of the game. Mm-hmm. And people will sit over there and try to discredit his legacy. But one of the things that he was able to do was show Michael a different strategy and how to win in that strategy, that you can depend on your other teammates.
Right.
And built a close relationship with Dennis Rodman. Mm-hmm. And turned around and built and took principles that he learned from being around Native Americans and took those principles into the practices. And he didn't judge. Instead, he talked to them at their level. He didn't belittle anybody. And then you go to that guy that's doing all that, that's adding all the success to the team. And you put your foot down saying it's going to be his last year. For what reason? You got a guy like that, keep him as long as you can.
Because he's not like, I want more money or like I want out. He was like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the whole thing with like with Paxson hitting that three right to the first final, it's like because again Jordan's like I got to do it all myself, and Jackson's like, hey, no, you don't.
You got pieces,
right? And that's why I don't give a fuck like what people say about LeBron and Kobe and Durant. Dude, Jordan's a fucking GOAT. Like straight up, like I don't give a shit. Like you know, and like he wasn't selfish. I mean, he was, but like competitively selfish, but not like he wasn't like
he knew when to give the ball up and give it to the guy that could make things happen.
He wasn't leaving the Bulls to try to fucking form a powerhouse team to fucking win a championship, which is so fucking lame, dude.
Right.
That happened.
Right. You don't see Michael Jordan trying to team up with Magic Johnson and Larry Bird to be like, hey guys, let's team up and win together. And
by the way, I'm not against it happening like organically or like if through a bunch of trades. It was that bullshit like off-season talking it, like just the players talking it, like you all want to play together. That stuff was like so fucking lame. I was like, what? Well, you guys are fucking friends talking like to go figure it out. No.
And I'm gonna be honest. I think the league suffered a lot of competitive matchups because of the whole super team era. Of course they did. And like, it's balanced now, but it wasn't like that 5 years ago. Yeah,
they for sure did. I think that was gross. That was like disgusting. Again, like if LeBron went to the Heat and then they happened to get like Ray Allen and like Dwayne, like, you know, okay, fine. Hey, then they great GMing, right? Because that happens with football teams a lot. You just build a fucking team. You're like, hey, we got it. But that was just like, it wasn't even the teams talking. It was just the players. Like, we're going to do it ourselves. It's like, okay. What? Like, that's what I loved about like Jordan. Like, dude, Jordan closing his eyes and going, "This is for you," and hitting a fucking free throw is so fucking cool. like it's so fucking and like competitive. I love that shit because like when I played football, I shit talked. I played safety, so I played defense. I fucking hit. I was like, I played old school. My favorite player growing up was John Lynch.
Oh, okay.
You know, one of the hardest hitting safeties of all time. Not the best safety of all time, but I would say like top 6 easy, from my opinion. Like, you know, as far as like leadership and like just fucking on-field hitting ability and tackling. Barry Sanders says that the hardest he's ever been hit on a football field was by John Lynch.
Oh wow, that's a lot come from him.
Exactly. So like I used to play like him, but I was a better ball hawk too. But I was like, I'm coming hard. Like I'm gonna fucking go up. And I was shit talk. Because it got in people's heads, and like it's all about the game. As soon as the game was over, I was like, "Hey, man, good game." Like I don't really mean any of what I said. Like I don't really mean it, you know. But like on the field, dude, like it's on. Like we're not friends right now. We're not friends. Like I'm here to fucking fuck you up. I'm here to fuck you up and down this 100 yards all day. I'm gonna make you cry every time you catch this ball. Every time you think about doing a post, you're gonna not want to do a post. And then after this, we'll go get a fucking beer. But like for this next 60 minutes, we're not friends. So like when I see that shit, I'm like, where's the competitive edge? Where's the competition? Where's the fucking rivalry? Where is it? That's what more than half of sports is to me, honestly.
Right, because before this documentary, there were so many people, of course, that were younger that were like, well, how good was Pippen? This documentary just displayed that.
Good.
Very good.
So good. He was so good. He would have been a number 1 on every other team, almost every other team. Right.
And I mean, because for years, people were very critical that weren't around during that time. Well, was Pippen that great? Was he doing this? The man was balling. The 2 years that Michael was away, he became easily the number 1 guy on that team for a reason. Of course.
And by the way, Rodman doesn't get the credit he deserves either, I think. He doesn't. He's the best he's the best rebounder of all time and maybe one of the best defenders of all time, easily.
There's a reason they got him from the Pistons. There's a reason for that.
Fucking badass, dude.
Right.
You know what's funny? The 50-50 between the Isaiah Thomas and Michael Jordan people are going back and forth with. Like some people taking Isaiah's side, some people take Jordan's side. And I get people taking Isaiah's side, but the competitor in me is like, nah, I agree with Jordan.
I agree with Jordan too. You don't walk off. You don't walk off the court because you got beat. Jordan went over there. I mean, Jordan got put out by the Pistons several times, walked over, shook his hand, and was like, hey, man,
And he got beat up by them too.
Right. And
Physically
got beat up. Right.
Yeah.
So if he was man enough to do that, why is Isaiah going on about making this excuse why not doing the same thing? Like, I don't care if another team did it that way and you thought that was cool. Every single performance out on that field, when it's all said and done, when the 60 minutes are up or however long it takes, how many ever quarters there is, you line up, shake hands with that somebody. You know how they used to do it in high school and middle school. They do a line, you do the high fives, whatever. It's all good. Or go up and do the handshakes.
See, you know where I would agree with. Remember, this is going back a few years, but the Patriots lost to the Chargers. This is like when LT was still playing in the playoffs one year. And Sean Merriman and a bunch of the other guys were being pretty disrespectful on the Patriots logo and shit.
Right.
And then Brady and them were like, fuck you. And they just kind of walked off the field without shaking anybody's hand. That I could be like, yeah, I get that. Because they were disrespectful first. They were like, dissing you in your home. They already won and they're dissing you. Like, yeah, fuck you. You're being, get the fuck. But that wasn't the case. Like, they were just like, yeah, we just lost. So no, we're going to leave. It's like, God, it's bitch shit,
Yeah. It's one of those situations where, if you got beat, just go up there. It doesn't hurt to go up there and shake a hand and be like, hey man, you did a good job. You got us. We'll see you next time or whatever.
Right.
I personally don't agree. To me, and I'll be honest with you, I think Isaiah deep down still has resentment to this day that he wasn't put on the dream team, even though he had a resume.
Even though he had the resume. Said it.
Right.
So he's like, it doesn't bother me, not really. He's like, just be honest. Just be like, yeah, man, it was fucking bothersome. Like, I would just be like, yeah, man, it bummed me out. Because that was one of the greatest, basketball teams of all time, right? It was an all-star team of all-star teams, right? So, like, yeah, to not be on – Christian Laettner was on that team.
Right. I mean, it's one of those – yeah. Right. It was one of those situations where I looked at that and I was like, wow, like this dude with his resume, winning rings and all that, and he was not on this team due to, and let's be honest, he got into it with Magic. He rubbed Bird the wrong way. Those are pillars. You get into it, you pissed Michael off. What do you think is going to happen?
But by the way, and this is what I like about Isaiah, on his credit, he was like, yeah, I was talking shit. Like, I fucking talk so much shit. I got in their head where they were like, fuck Isaiah. Dude, that's what I like, though. Like, that he was able to get in their fucking head. Now, to their credit, though, now Jordan was the only really one, because they walked off this. Like, Bird and Johnson, that was just shit talk. They should have been bigger about that and been like, no, he's still a great player. He was just talking shit. Jordan was the only one with the real gripe, I think. Because he was like, no, he was disrespectful. Like, there's a difference between shit talking and then being disrespectful. Like, there is.
Right, there's a line.
Yeah. That's my opinion, anyway.
Yeah. How did you feel about them getting into it about Michael Jordan's supposed problem with gambling?
I actually totally take Jordan's side. It's not a problem if you could fucking afford it and you're not putting anybody else in trouble. It's not a problem. It's only a problem. Something becomes a problem when it starts affecting things. If you're winning championships, if you're winning MVPs, if you're making money, if your family's being supportive, if you're not hitting anybody, if you're not fucking being abusive to your teammates, if you're not missing games, if you're not missing practices, where's the problem?
Right.
Where is it?
Right. Because he's still producing. He's not putting his family at risk. He has the money. He has the money to do that.
Basketball salary. That was him, right? Every dollar he's ever spent was from his fucking Nike thing. Wasn't that him? Or was that LeBron? Am I mixing the two?
I can't neither confirm or
deny. There's a very famous fuck. I want to say it was Jordan, but someone was going to fucking be like, it was fucking, whatever, nerd. There's a very famous basketball player. I can't, again, and they've never touched a dime from the NBA salary. All they ever use is just from sponsorship money, which is brilliant.
Right.
So, like, that might be him, but my point, if it's not, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, there's no problem if there's not a problem. Like, this media just being the fucking media, lying, what they do best. So, fuck out of here. No, I agree with Jordan totally.
Right, absolutely. I think it's one of those situations where as long as he's producing, and the one thing I like about Jordan is through all of this, when he was dealing with going through the Pistons, when he was dealing with the media coming at trying to, because the media will always do this. They will always build somebody up to tear them down.
Of course. Because they're garbage, but yes.
Right. and him dealing with the backlash from the media in terms of a potential gambling problem, which I didn't see. I know celebrities that had less money than Jordan that had more. We have seen it, that have had worse problems than what they're talking about. So it's one of those situations where I look at that and I go, well, he's still producing. These celebrities fell to the wayside. That's the difference between them and Jordan.
But MC Hammer, right?
Right.
Like, no one was like, hey, M, I think you're spending too much. No, because MC Hammer's not fucking Michael Jordan. Like,
Right.
you know, he's not in the spotlight. Like, Jordan's a fucking superior athlete. MC Hammer's a fucking dummy with one song. So, like, so they're going to try to fucking tear Jordan down, and, like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's totally out of pocket. But the one thing is, throughout all that, and then I think it was really eye-opening where they wanted him to kind of speak out from a political standpoint. And he said, look, he basically said, I'm paraphrasing what he said. He's like, I always thought of myself as a basketball player, not necessarily a politician or an activist. So, right.
Which, again, when he's like, Republicans buy shoes too, that whole thing.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, he's right, though. And it's like, stop. This is what I hate about any fucking group or like activist thing where they try to project their thoughts on what they think somebody else should be doing. Because they're like, oh, that's what I would do. Okay, well, that's not you, though.
Right.
So shut the fuck up. Like, I see it all the time. Name a group, name them. And I can feel like that's what they do, and it's annoying. Like, it's everyone does it, and it's so fucking annoying. I hate that shit. So you have all these activists like, oh, I think he should have, I think he should have spoke up more. Okay, so you're saying you're going to risk his money and his position in life on what you hold true to you? That sounds fair. Fucking fuck you.
Not everybody's Kaepernick, man. Not everybody's going to be able to do that.
Exactly. He chose to do that. Okay, man. Which, by the way, that whole thing is ridiculous. I'm a libertarian. I don't give a shit what you do.
Right.
Sit on it. I don't care, man. I'm still going to watch football because it doesn't really affect me. Right. Like, here, again, I don't agree with it. Like, I wouldn't personally do that. Right. But, like, you can, and I don't hate you for it. Do whatever.
And that's the difference. Yeah, and that's the difference.
But that's the rare breed, I guess, nowadays in this country is like people who think like me. It's like where I could disagree with it, but also agree with it.
But you know what? It's also the thing about, and based on your standpoint about being libertarian, I think you guys have the most sincere, authentic outlook out of everybody that claims a certain political view, because I feel we
do, but that's bias.
Yeah, I mean, but I think it's one of those situations where you guys let people be as they are, but you still have standards, and also you pay attention to the schemes of division that happen. The problem with everybody else but the people like you, they end up being a pawn at some point. Yeah. Liberals end up being a pawn in some topics. Conservatives end up being a pawn at some point. And pick whichever names you want to go.
I mean, I'll give you an example. Just like with this coronavirus right now, right? If it got politicized, which I called in February or March, I called like this will be politicized at one point, which it did. Now it's, if you question this lockdown, you're a murderer and you're a Trump supporter. And if you want to stay locked down, you're a pussy liberal. That's the two camps, apparently. Right. On Twitter, those are the two camps, right?
And both of them are wrong.
I'm a libertarian. I don't agree with this lockdown at all. I'm not a Trump supporter, so you're wrong. So where are you going to throw me in? Like, where are you going to pencil me in? You can't. So stop lying. Like, people have to stop lying and just be honest with this conversation and be like, hey, we have an economy. And here's the other thing, too. And this is why with the people who are afraid and want to stay home, their right to do that is stopping my right to not do that. But my right to want to go out isn't stopping their right to want to stay home.
Right.
Did you see the difference right there? Yeah. And for some reason, people don't grasp that. I'm like, no. If you want to stay home, hey, buddy, stay home. Stay home all day. That's great. Don't stop me from going outside, though. You don't have that right. Like, but because your feelings don't override my feelings. But it gets put into fucking law, and now I can't go outside.
Right.
So what do I do? Like, it's like,
yeah. I definitely get that. I definitely get that, man. It's one of the situations when I look at that situation, it's like you're constantly being pressured to go with what somebody else's ideology is of you. Like Jordan went through that in the documentary, where he can only get free time when he's in seclusion at his hotel room. From the moment he walks out to the moment he heads back into the hotel room, it is a frenzy. It is a frenzy unlike we haven't. People talk about, the celebrities now that deal with frenzy. You saw the video for yourself, what that looked like. Celebrities think they got it made now. Oh, this is crazy and stuff like that. Look at what Jordan dealt with. This was, and keep in mind, there was no social media.
I know.
So they were hearing this by word of mouth. This wasn't, it's a picture of him just waving and you can just put an emoji in and feel like you're there. No.
Right.
You had to hear word of mouth that he was going to be there.
There's that picture of him they showed, I think, in episode 6, where it was like a overhead shot of him standing there with the reporters around him, and he was legitimately 360, like a 360 group of reporters with microphones. It looked like they were stabbing him with swords.
Right.
Like I'm like, wow, man, that looks fucking terrible. Like, it really does.
Right. It looks like, I hate to say it, it looks like a big circus act. That's what it looks like. It looks like one major circus act.
Because at what point do you not like, hey guys, fuck off? I just say that. Like, I don't care what you think. Write whatever you want. At what point? But to not do that is like a better man than I.
Right. It takes some restraint because you got branding on the line. You have an organization you're representing. There's a certain level of professionalism and class that you have to have. I'm not saying you have to be perfect, but when you're getting paid, when you're the number one guy on the team that has a bunch of pieces, it's you gotta handle that leadership a certain way. What are your thoughts on the documentary so far?
It's great. It's interesting too, because I thought it was just gonna be like the last year, but they really are showing like the whole Bulls run from Jordan's time, which is kind of cool to see. So it's not really just the last year, which is cool, which I would tell people too. Like, actually it really kind of is just the whole Jordan era of the Bulls. Right. Focused on the 98 season. But it is interesting because like I was also a kid for a lot of that. So I remember from like 94 or 5 on, I kind of remember the Bulls run vivid, but still, like I don't remember like the Paxson shot, or I don't remember like, I don't remember, but I do remember like the 98 championship pretty vividly, the 97 one, right? The 97 too, right? Yeah. Yeah, that one.
He came back, yeah.
Right, yeah. So, yeah, I remember those two pretty vividly. But so it's interesting to see this again as an adult and be like, oh shit. Oh yeah, I was like 10. I was like 10 years old when that was going on. Yeah. So that's cool. Yeah. I dig it.
I definitely think, in my opinion, I'm right there with you. It's definitely, this is one of the best documentaries I've seen done in a long time. And it's been a long time because with technology and people getting their hands on video equipment, everybody kind of shoots similar, edits similar. So you're never really excited for something that's very like, oh my gosh, like this feels like it's been a long time since I looked at something and said, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm going into a big event.
Right.
At my TV room.
Honestly, Joe Exotic was that way, but it took us all off guard. Like we didn't know about it.
It was like a sneaky surprise. That's the difference.
This was like touted a little bit beforehand. Right. It was like, hey, Last Dance is like legit. And everyone's like, oh, all sports fans like, ooh, we're all like excited. But like Tiger came like, oh, let's throw this shit on during quarantine. And we're like, what the fuck? Like everyone was like, and then it became like a cultural event. It's a little different. Like we kind of going into it like, ooh, I'm excited. I know what I'm getting into. Yeah.
This is like what Avengers Endgame was for comic book fans. This is like what it is for sports fans. Basketball fans mainly. Yeah.
I'm both.
So that special feeling that you felt when you was like, oh man, it's coming. I'll be honest
with you. I just watched the scene again. My friend Blaze, very funny comedian, by the way, Blaze Gagakis, you guys should check him out. He says to me, he's like, you're the manliest non-man I know. because he's like, you can't build anything. Like, I'm very unhandy. Like, I ask him to build shit. He's like, you can't build stuff. He's like, you cry on movies and TV, but you could fuck up like everyone we know because of MMA shit. And he's like, and you're a football guy. He's like, and you'll, and like you stand up for what you believe in and all that shit. But he's like, but you also like, you're so fucking bitchy. I'm like, I know, it's weird. I'm a weird anomaly. So like, I watched the scene in Endgame where Cap's fucking beat and his shield's broken and Thanos' army's coming down, and then you hear on your left and the portals start opening. And everybody starts coming out of the port. Yo, I cry every time. Every single time. I will not cry. I'm not like, you know what I'm saying? I'll get like teary eyed. I will tear up every single fucking time. Every single time. Because it's like, it's so weird, like unpacking so much. Cause we just met. It's like so much history of like why that's a thing to me. Cause like, Nerds with Words is my podcast. We don't really talk about, we do talk about nerdy stuff, but it's mainly me and my buddy Neil Wood, who's another comedian. It's pretty much us usually every week, just riffing, hanging out, talking about current events. We'll do subjects. We'll talk about like nerd history. We'll talk about like movies and nerd shit. We will, but it's mostly just comedy podcast. But I needed Nerds of Words because I myself am a gigantic comic book nerd. I have a $10,000 comic book collection, like legit graded by CGC.
Don't say that too loud.
It's insured. I grew up. And again, I was born in 86, grew up in the 90s. I've been a nerd since fucking 91, since my dad started getting me into Spider-Man. I got beat up for being a nerd. When I was playing football in high school, I was into Spider-Man. The guys on my team used to make fun of me, even though I fucking was one of the best players on the team. I would play every week. They would be like, great fucking game. The next day, they'd be like, you fucking loser. I wasn't friends with anyone on my team. I would get beat up because I was a fucking nerd. Yeah, that's when I learned how to fight. Got into MMA, so I cut that shit out so people stop fucking taking care of that. And then I carried on the nerdom, and then nerdy shit got cool. And I was like, fuck you guys, man. I fought for this. Like, I legitimately got into fights over like Spider-Man. And now it's like now it's cool to have Spider-Man tattoos.
Right. Imagine if you went to school now in this era, you'd be like the nerd would be the coolest man in the room.
I mean, look at my arm. I mean, it's all nerdy shit. It's my tattoos.
Oh, wow.
It's fucking Tick, Boba Fett, Freakazoid, Reptar. This whole arm is 90s cartoons. My whole leg right here is Spider-Man tattoos. This is all steampunk. Like, I have all fucking nerd shit, dude. Like, so I am a nerd. So I am a legit nerd. So, like, I do love that shit. But I also love sports, and that's how I balance that out.
Right, yeah, absolutely, man. Definitely, I mean, even if this documentary, even if it ended right now, this is still one of the best documentaries I've seen.
So good.
Ever. So it's definitely very good. I'm looking forward to seeing how it ends. I think they're going to go into later when Michael takes a break and we get into that, which I'm interested to see what was everybody's mindset with that.
Yeah, because I'm like, they didn't talk about it yet.
They're going to get to it. No, yeah, they're going to definitely get to it.
What do you think the real reason was?
I honestly think he needed a break. Like, he was just exhausted. Like, I
actually think he owed a spectacular amount of money.
Oh, you thinking he was trying to get out of a contract or renegotiate one?
I think he might have not the gambling thing was in trouble, but maybe he just at the time was a little over his head with some money stuff. Yeah,
potentially, maybe.
And maybe some of it was like, you guys sit out of basketball for a year.
It should be interesting. We'll see.
There's some conspiracy shit for you guys to look into, but there's some, again, with anything else, right? There's some merit to it, but who the fuck really knows,
Right, absolutely. The last topic I want to get into, we ain't gonna stay on this topic long. Did you have a chance to listen to Drake's latest playlist project? It's not really his album, but
no. So I'm not a gigantic Drake fan, honestly. Like, I like a little bit of Drake stuff, but I was trying to find it on the fucking thing, and I couldn't find it.
Oh yeah.
So I didn't get a chance to listen to it. No, is it good? I know it's like mostly collaboration stuff, right? It's not like a straight up album.
It's like Lucy's, like, it was like some of this stuff was already leaked. So When to Say When was already out. Chicago Freestyle was already out. We just got the extended version of that on this playlist, which is called Dark Lane Demo Tapes. So a couple of the tracks that I personally like: Deep Pockets, When to Say When, Chicago Freestyle, Not You Too. Let me see.
I could probably actually listen to that right now.
Demons. I like that. I like that song. Of course, War and Tootsie Slide is on there, but those are like commercial hits, so I don't really count them. They're pretty good. I mean, they're still good though. I mean, this is a Drake. Drake is literally one of two artists that I can play their whole album.
Oh, really?
And straight through and not get tired of listening to them. I don't say that about a lot of artists. I can't listen to an Eminem song. No offense to Eminem. I can't listen to an Eminem album straight through. I got to pick certain songs.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. I grew up on M, right? Like that's my goddamn childhood right there. You know,
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
But there are definitely songs I'm like, all right, this is fucking trash. Like, you know, this is.
Yeah.
I was just listening to Deep Pockets. I was listening to the first 35 seconds. That's a good hook. I like that intro a lot.
Yeah.
I was like, I won't listen to that after this now. I want to finish that.
Drake has never missed with an intro.
I feel like he gets a lot of shit for the Degrassi stuff, you know. But like, I don't blame him. He's just trying to fucking make it. Like, you know, trying to break in. I actually think he's a pretty funny dude when they put him in comedic shit. He should lean into that more.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, there were two things. I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. You go ahead. Especially at the ESPYs. If you saw him at the ESPYs, right?
Three things. I forgot about the ESPYs. Three things. Right. ESPYs is one. That Super Bowl commercial he did making fun of his Hotline Bling song. Yeah. Very funny. And then the third thing I'm thinking of is that skit he did with Will Ferrell with the NBA guys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Oh, my God.
But the handshakes. Uh-huh. He's like, Jabbar. Or whatever he said his name. I forgot who he's talking about. Dude, he should... I wish... I think Drake's problem is he has fucking idiots around him that get in his fucking head and his ear and don't guide him the right way. I think
to do more outside of music? Like, hey, you should go into acting, but you should go back into acting and do comedian. He's starting to... I know with Top Boy on Netflix, he's starting to dabble more into the film side of stuff. Now, is he going to act in some stuff? I don't know.
Like, here's what I would say.
I'll tell you this.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll tell you this point. If he gets into some acting, if he gets back into some acting, he's going to have a legion of fans. That's like, he's easily the biggest current star in music.
I don't know. Like, one of the biggest, I guess, because like Post Malone's pretty fucking big, dude.
Drake is bigger than him.
Yeah,
Drake is bigger than him. There's certain...
how much I don't know about music anymore.
Oh yeah, Drake is a bigger. Don't get me wrong. Post Malone is nationally known, and nobody's denying that.
I like Post Malone,
but Drake is way bigger than him.
That's fair. No, that's fair. Yeah. I believe you. I'm just trying to think of like, but yeah, I wish someone would be like, I wish someone be like, hey man, you know what Justin Timberlake did? Do that
acting. Yeah.
But comedic. Don't go to fucking. I don't want to see him do serious because he's not. I don't care. That's not what I think is like. That's not why I look at you and go comedic, a serious actor. Like I saw you do comedy. Again, the SV shit was written for him, of course, but he still delivered well.
Right.
So he still has the timing at least mindset. Where listen, I'm a comic. You need both to actually do comedy. You need the timing and the fucking creativity and the writing.
Right.
I'm not saying he has to become a comedian. He'll be awful. But he could be a comedic actor where you could get guys to write for him. He'll be funny. Like he could do it. Like he's funny. So let him do that. Just what Timberlake's doing, like with the dick in the box stuff, like all the other shit. Like, hey man, go do that. It's fucking funny. And he's good. JT's good at that. Timberlake's great at that shit. Go do it. But no one's telling him. I think he hangs out with fucking idiots. And that's unfortunate.
Or maybe he may be with Drake. You never know. He may be playing something under the tuck. Who knows?
Maybe. I just want to be like, hey man, if I ever meet him, I was like, hey, you don't know me, but hear me out. I'm a comic. Trust me. Do comedic acting. And as we get dragged away by security, I'm like, just do comedic acting. As we get pulled away.
Oh man, that's awesome, bro. So before we close, I wanted to give you the floor to kind of promote where people can find you and where they can find your social media, where they can find your podcast links and stuff like that. So feel free to promote that. The floor is yours.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on, by the way. This is super fun. This is a good part of my day because I've been miserable all the time, because I'm stuck at home. So when I podcast, it's fun. So this has been nice. No, but you can catch me at Adam Nutter on Twitter and Instagram. Follow me. I'm a fun follow on Twitter. I'm either funny or I'm just arguing about something political. It's for fun. I don't really care. I just like the flame war. It's fun for me. So at Adam Nutter on Twitter and Instagram, at Adam Nutter Comedy on Facebook. You can find my podcast, Nerds with Words, at NWWcast. That's on everything: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. If you are so inclined, check out our Patreon for Nerds with Words. We are putting out a shit ton of extra content, and the extra content's fun. We're doing like Would You Rather episodes, like Would you rather have dicks for fingers and knives for hands? Shit like that. We go into like talks and like how our lives would be. We had one where it was no, I don't want to give it away. Patreon.com/nerdswithwords. $1 gets you access to everything, and then you can check out our other tiers too. But just $1 gets you in the door, and we put out content consistently. It's fun, I promise you. So check it out. And then my other podcast, if you're into sports, Slapstick Sports, you can check that out. Plug that into YouTube and stuff. And just subscribe to our YouTube channel on Nerds with Words. And that's pretty much it. And when comedy comes back, I'll be on the road or in your town hopefully soon. Fucking maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. So just follow me, and I'll post my dates when those become a thing again. And thanks for having me on, dude. That was super fun. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You are more than welcome to come back on. We definitely appreciate you stopping by Audio Airstrike. And hey, man, definitely, man. We look forward to in future episodes bringing you back on, man, if you're interested.
Fuck yeah, man. Love it.
Absolutely. Well, this has been another edition of Audio Airstrike. I'm Everett Hall-McNeill. Thank you for joining us. Make sure if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe. Don't be a hater and don't be a stranger. Subscribe. Well, until next time, everybody, take care.